Welcome to this episode of Hampton Roads Business Live. My name is Rory Graham and I'm your host, and today we have the pleasure of having with us Brad.Kirkpatrick. He's the Executive Director for Habitat for Humanity of South Hampton Roads. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Rory.
Why don't we just start with an overview of what is Habitat for Humanity South Hampton Roads?
Well, sure. Well, let's talk about Habitat for Humanity.
Right. Okay.
The organization was started back in 1976 by Linda and Millard Fuller,
Okay.
and a lot of people don't realize this, but it didn't even start here in the United States. They began their first home building in Africa, and started out there and recognized the opportunity here later in about 1979, 1980 time frame. A lot of the things we do over at Habitat when we try to explain what we do and who we are is to explain who we're not and what we're not. And one of the things that we did, that, as I just described, one of the things we aren't is somebody who's founded by Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter came in the mid-'80s and helped support the organization, and he's been wonderful. The Carter family's been fantastic, but we didn't begin there. And the other thing that most people think about Habitat is that the organization gives their houses away to needy people, and that of course is not the case. Our homes are sold affordably to families in need all over the country. Habitat for Humanity International is based in Atlanta, Georgia, and they still, to this day, don't build any homes here in the United States. They build homes in 47 countries all over the world and growing every day, and they house new families, new people, to the tune of about 5,000 new people every single day, constantly adding homes and building. Here in the United States, we have about 1,600 what we call affiliates that are building homes here in this country. We are not a subsidiary of Habitat. We use the name, and they provide support to our organization in terms of knowledge and expertise in various areas, and help us get these families in homes and try to help us know good building standards and good nonprofit management standards and everything else that goes along with that. And it's been extremely successful, obviously. With just a few homes in the mid-'70s, late '70s here in the United States, they've gotten to almost 2 million homes built.
Wow.
All over the world, absolutely. And it's going to keep growing exponentially from there. Habitat for Humanity of South Hampton Roads is based in Norfolk, Virginia, and we manage all those neighborhoods, all those cities in the South Hampton Roads region. So everything on this side of the bridge tunnel, if you will. Suffolk, Norfolk, Chesapeake, Portsmouth, all those towns, Virginia Beach, all those towns have benefited from Habitat's ability to bring affordable homes to families who could never really afford a conventional mortgage. The process is lengthy and it takes some time, but we're excited to be here, and we are glad that we could help these families get started on their way to self-reliance.
Okay. Well, I think you stepped on 3 questions, but
okay.
That's all right. Why don't we just go with the next one, which is how does someone start a process?
Absolutely.
To do this?
Sure. The process is, the best way to get started is to go onto our website, www.shrhabitat.org, and if you go there, you will see a link to discover how to become one of our Habitat families. And we call them partner families because we've discovered that these families stay involved with the organization and help as things go on. When you go there, you will find certain pieces of information to help you decide if Habitat's going to be right for you. And one of them is we have a range of what the total household income of your family is. We provide affordable housing, like I said, not free. So there is a monthly mortgage payment, just like anybody else would pay, that coincides with your ability to pay. And it starts down in the mid-20s. It's not much. Most people that have a regular, steady job and a reasonably good credit history, okay, not spectacular, just fair, can come in and become a Habitat homeowner. Most of our homeowners are single mothers with children. They come in, they go through the application process, We do a credit check. We sit down with them. We explain the program. They have to go through about 250 to 400 hours of sweat equity before they can move into the house. They're actually helping us build the home that they're going to be moving into. We like to consider that our down payment. And they go through the process of learning how to manage a home through classes that we provide over a period of several months. They have to go through cash management, how to maintain a home, how to be community minded, how to deal with schools as a homeowner, with all the taxes, all the things they have to do to become basically a functioning member of the middle class. And a lot of these families didn't come from there. A lot of these families have come from poverty, maybe even generations of poverty. These are the families that have worked hard, have moved their situation to a point where they're ready to accept the responsibility of home ownership. Our homes are sold to them at an affordable price, okay? What they can afford based on their total household income. But they're sold to them at a 0% interest. So they're paying zero interest. So every dime they're paying into that home becomes immediate equity into the home. So it's almost like a savings account. And they are slowly but surely over a 30-year period paying this mortgage off. When they move or they're ready to sell, we do have an equity sharing program where if they sell within like a couple, 3 years, okay, we're going to split that equity with them, okay? The longer they live, the more equity on that house they get to keep. Does that make sense?
Sure.
And we do that to make sure that we're getting the people that need our help and not the people who are trying to get a good deal. And
it is a good deal.
It's a great deal. It is.
Deal,
but it's scary for some of these folks. This is a long-term commitment, the likes of which they haven't experienced before. And what happens when they go through this process and how they're affected is amazing. They are able to, they're holding their head up higher. They're homeowners, okay? Their families have changed permanently. Their children, this helps generations. Their children now have a new standard of living.
Well, they have a whole new mindset.
They do. It's a completely new
because
mindset.
you're just not providing just the house. It's all the training and everything that you listed there. That's quite in depth.
It is.
This is a really well thought out program.
Very much so. And the fact is that these folks are learning to manage their lives. They're becoming completely responsible and they're taking control of their lives. I mean, people that go out and rent, and some of these folks have rented in horrible places. They don't have responsibility for that structure. They don't have responsibility for the air conditioner and the stuff and this and that and everything else. So this responsibility that they've taken on creates a new person in a lot of ways. And like I said, their children are getting a great example from all of that.
So how many families have you all helped here in Hampton Roads?
Since we were founded in 1988, and since 1988, we've built 210 homes.
Okay.
And that pace was slow at the beginning because of the way Habitat works. You build a home, you start drawing mortgage payments, and on those mortgage payments you're able to build more homes. So the more homes you build, the more homes you're going to be able to build as those mortgage payments come in. And so now we've built 210, and every year we're building somewhere between 10 and 15 homes every year.
And you say these people stay involved?
Oh, they do, very much so. We have many families that are very involved in our organization.
And so you've seen over the years then, you kind of see how well it works.
Oh yeah, it's been amazing. If you go to any bank and you ask them, how often do you have to foreclose? I'll say that awful word. How often do you have to foreclose on a mortgage? And I'm sure they'll have a percentage. I don't know what it is, but it's probably, fairly staggering when you think about it. For us, we've built 210 homes, and to the best that we can see, there's only been, since 1988, 4 times we've had to foreclose, and one of those times the person literally passed away and there was no family. So it was
Not
just,
much you can do about that.
and there was not exactly. So it wasn't really a foreclosure. It was just an empty.
When I first talked to you, one of the things that I had, well, there's a lot I had no clue about on this, but one of the things was that you have something called Wreath Stores.
Yes.
Can you tell us about that program?
It's a funding opportunity for the organization. It's a thrift store, but it's different. Unlike other thrift stores, these stores sell everything for the home, but clothes. So we sell no clothing in any of our stores, but we sell appliances, cabinets, doors, windows, building supplies, tools, furniture, everything you can imagine that you would go to Home Depot or Kmart or Walmart or whatever to buy for your home. We buy, and the things that we pick that are donated to our stores, and all the goods and materials that we sell in our stores are donated, furniture and appliances and everything else. A lot of that stuff is fairly new, and some of the furniture is actually quite valuable. But our prices are extremely reasonable. It's thrift store prices, but like we take very little furniture that's like laminate. It's like all wood.
It's all donated.
And it's all donated, and is donated by very generous people all over the community who know who we are, who know what we're about, and we tend to get the good stuff. It's great.
Now, I saw something on your website. I don't think it was on my questions here. It isn't. But it was deconstruction.
Mm-hmm. We do deconstruction, yes.
Tell us what that is.
Absolutely. We have some opportunities where we either have a homeowner, or sometimes we've done it at apartment complexes where they are going to go through a remodeling, okay, or a process like that, and we will literally go in with a team and pull the things out and take the cabinets off the wall for them, and take the appliances out and the doors off the hinges and everything else.
But you nail down, you're taking it.
Yeah, we're taking it with just about anything you could imagine that they're ready to turn over. And the best part about this program is what happens when companies go through a remodel. Hotels, we do a lot of work with hotels. When they go through a remodel, is that it goes in the landfills.
Yeah.
Okay? They just have giant dumpsters lined up and they throw everything away. Well, they give it to us and we resell them. So we're recycling all of this good furniture and everything that for the community and for the environment.
Okay, so let's talk about how someone volunteers.
Well, that's the best part of our organization. Obviously, the volunteers are the lifeblood of what we do there, and we couldn't possibly afford to build the homes at the prices that we sell them for without all those labor volunteer hours that make it possible. You go to again, best way to do it is go to our website.
Okay.
It says become a volunteer. There's a button right there at the top. Believe me, we make it very prominent. And you click on that, you go through a registration process. There's a couple of little safety things we have to check off there. Make sure everybody has to be at this point over 18, okay? So we only take adult volunteers. There are some kid opportunities, but those are through other organizations usually. And so and you go in and you sign up, and then you will see a list of dates and opportunities to come out and build on one of our sites. And that's the way it goes. When you get there, you'll be greeted by a volunteer manager who will
put a hammer in your hand.
Put a hammer in your hand. Who'll make sure you're all squared away and that everything's in order. And we have a team of people at all of our at all of our work sites called Red Hats, and you'll see they all wear red hats, little red baseball caps, and they're the experts. And they come in and help coordinate. Those are also volunteers, but they're people that volunteer constantly, and they are usually retired. A lot of retired Navy people are involved. And they come in and they help coordinate the less experienced volunteers and make sure they are being productive and making sure they don't hurt themselves and that they're using tools and doing everything the right way.
Is there any other kind of donation someone can make?
Absolutely. We obviously, it takes money to build a house. So we do have to buy a lot of those materials. Some are donated, but a lot of it we have to go out and buy. And when we go build a home, the tough stuff like the foundation, the air conditioning, the electrical, the plumbing, those big four things, those all have to be contracted. They have to be to code and they have to be by a certified technician. Mm-hmm. So, all that takes money. So we definitely have a donor program, and we would love for people to come to SHR Habitat, and there's an opportunity there to donate. And we also have several events during the course of the year. We have a golf tournament coming up in October. We have various parties which you'll be able to see. We have house parties and other opportunities for you to get involved and learn more about Habitat.
Okay. I can tell you that I was one of those people that was kind of thinking Jimmy Carter was
of course,
maybe not started it, but certainly was very into it, and that you all just built houses and gave them away. Yeah. That's kind of what I thought. I really hadn't given it a lot of thought, but it's certainly quite different and a lot more extensive program, and really well thought out. I mean, you all really thought this out, not just doing a house and getting them in it, but doing all the stuff that allows them to change the mindset to help keep it and help them change their whole position. And you know, that's what they're trying to do. So
absolutely,
that's great. That's
our byline is a hand up, not a handout.
Right.
And what we do is there are charities out there that help people that are in immediate need. Okay, great charities that are helping people for that day or that week. And a lot of those charities wonder, what next? Okay, I've helped this person, and they're not going to, their children are fed now, but what about next week? And on and on.
Right.
What next? Okay, and I talked to many human services nonprofit organizations about this. Habitat is the what's next. Okay, when you've got a woman who's trying to get out of an unsafe environment with her children, and they've got to go into temporary housing or something like that, we'll get called and say, this woman looks like she could use your help, and we're trying to get her completely on her feet permanently. So we're sort of the what next charity.
Well, I can see you're very passionate about it.
Yeah.
It's certainly a worthy cause. Have I left anything out? Did you?
No, I want to make sure that people come to our website because it's very informative. There's a lot of information there, and we do have a lot of things going on. Please, even if you don't want to volunteer, come check us out. Come look at what we're doing. It's amazing. We have 9 homes we're building in the city of Suffolk right now, 9 all at once, and we have what's called a blitz build coming up at in the middle of September. The blitz build's like, I don't know if you remember the TV show Extreme Home Makeover, but that's, they build a whole house in a week or weekend or whatever it was. We're doing that with 3 houses.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so the second week of September, I think it starts the 12th, we are going to be building 3 houses all at once, and we'll start on Monday morning and we will finish Friday evening, and then we're going to do a dedication to 3 families to those homes on Saturday. Right. It's a great event, and like I said, we have golf tournaments, we have all sorts of events. We're a typical nonprofit. We're doing fundraising events all the time. So come, I'd ask everybody to come check it out, take a look at what we're doing, and see how we're helping these folks.
Okay, well, you heard him. Go check it out. The website is at the end of this video, and it's also at the bottom of this page and other contact information. And I'm sure that if you give them a call, they would be more than happy to answer any questions that you have. And thank you very much for coming in. I wish you a great deal of continued success.
Thank you very much, Rory. I appreciate you having me.
Thanks.